Okay, let's fire up the time machine. Today, in this explainer, we're heading back to a very specific, incredibly vivid world. We're talking about the International Islamic University Malaysia, or IIUM, down in the Petaling Jaya campus circa 1991. We're going to completely unpack the vibrant, entirely analog, and deeply nostalgic microcosm presented in the memoir, The Girl I Never Stopped Missing. Before we even step foot onto this bustling campus, we really need to understand where our protagonist's head is at. Meet Remy. He's carrying this quiet, lingering heartache for a Chinese girl named Ah Ling from his high school days. It's a memory that literally haunts his entire university experience. As he so poetically puts it, as faithful as the rain waiting for the rainbow, that is how my longing refuses to die. She's the ghost of his past, just kind of moving in him like breath. So, what does this all mean for us? Well, it sets up the absolute core tension of our story. We've got a young guy caught right between this profound, almost poetic personal nostalgia and the loud, hilarious, and super demanding reality of everyday student life. How exactly do you navigate the chaos of college when your heart is stuck 5 years in the past? To really get Remy's world, you have to fully embrace the completely analog reality of 1991. Picture this: shared dorms, guys hanging out in traditional kind Pelekat sarongs and Japanese slippers, and absolutely, positively zero smartphones. Making a connection meant actually looking someone in the eye, and your reputation was built entirely word by word. Welcome to IIUM 1991. You see, this campus functioned exactly like a tiny, self-contained village. With only about 5,000 to 6,000 people total, it was practically impossible to get lost. Everyone just congregated along this central spine, which was basically the main campus highway, or they bonded over the legendary chicken curry down at the lower cafeteria. And news? It traveled fast. Not through group chats, but through this incredibly efficient campus-wide network of human messengers. Section 2. 2 tribes, 1 campus. Now, that small village dynamic naturally split the student body into 2 very distinct tribes. On one side, you had the religious stream. These were students from prestigious religious schools, speaking completely fluent Arabic, walking modestly in these traditional pastel baju Melayu tunics and sanko caps. And on the flip side, the mainstream, stumbling through their Arabic classes, rocking bold neon colors, and just strutting around with these confident model-like strides. I mean, you knew exactly who someone was the second you saw them. Section 3. The underground dating scene. Okay, you're gonna love this. Because public dating was strictly forbidden on campus, the students had to develop this hilarious, high-stakes ninja courier system. You couldn't just DM your crush. No way. Love in 1991 required serious strategy. First, you wrote a letter. Then, you sealed it inside multiple envelopes to avoid prying eyes and handed it off to a trusted friend for delivery. The going rate for this highly secretive courier service? A bribe of hot roti canai flatbread at the cafeteria. And hey, if you actually managed to secure a date, you had to get off campus fast. To avoid sparking a wildfire of rumors, couples exclusively dated in low-risk, off-campus neighborhoods like PJ Old Town, Sea Park, or Tugu Negara. But the absolute best part is that when they eventually crossed paths back on the central spine, they had to master the Oscar-worthy art of pretending they were complete and total strangers. Section 4. Dorm Drama and Leadership. The sheer absurdity of student leadership is where Remy actually finds his true calling. Barely settled into university life, he's unexpectedly made president of the most prestigious block on campus. Literally overnight, his modest little dorm room transforms into a VIP lounge. Student leaders and single lecturers are constantly gathering there, which forces his poor roommate Osmi to endlessly serve tea until their entire biscuit supply just completely vanishes. The seniors actually told him, "Let a junior lead. Only then we will have new spirit." Right. Was that visionary leadership, or did they just want to dump all their workload on the new guy? Either way, it thrusts Remy right into the deep end of complex campus politics from day one. Because, let's be real, leadership here wasn't about fancy titles. It was about handling relentless, hilarious, daily crises. Remy had to evict a senior guy named Matt who was illegally squatting on the dorm floor, and he had to dispense swift justice to a Ugandan student whose late-night cooking smelled so incredibly pungent it almost caused a block-wide mutiny. Section 5. Mission Felda Basut. Now, this wasn't just some basic weekend school assignment. Pitched by a senior named Uzair,
This was a massive, high-stakes logistical undertaking. The goal was to bring real, long-term benefits to an oil palm settlement up in Perak through student volunteerism. These kids were expected to act like full-fledged professional project managers.
And the terrifying reality of their ambition really came down to one single number, RM 20,000. In 1991, for a bunch of college kids, that is an absolutely astronomical sum of money. They had to raise this massive budget entirely on their own to paint mosques, run motivational programs, and actually support this community.
Talk about a pressure cooker. The tension was immediate. The team was instantly crushed under this mountain of escalating challenges. Zero starting budget, a crazy tight ticking clock of just 7 weeks, the headache of selecting exactly 40 male and 40 female participants, and having to design entire motivational modules completely from scratch.
Section 6. Building the Dream Team. To pull off a miracle and secure these funds, Remy recruits Sarah. And let me tell you, she isn't just brought on because she's an accounting student with a car. Though, let's be honest, that helps immensely. Her calm strength, her gentle concern, and just her sheer competence begin to act as a real game changer. It actually starts to unsettle Remy's lingering nostalgia for his past love, Aleng. Their strategy was incredibly ambitious. I mean, they didn't aim low. They went straight for the top government officials in the state, drafting letters to the state secretary and pitching the assemblyman. And when the pressure really peaked and time was running out, they relied on the ultimate backup plan, performing Salat Hajat, a special prayer of need, literally asking for divine intervention. I absolutely love this quote. With 20,000 ringgit on the line and literally zero in the bank, Ronnie, the treasurer, kept the operations room laughing, declaring, "There's not even a shadow of money, so I guess I'll be the shadow." In the face of impossible odds, humor and camaraderie were their true currency. The absolute charm of this era is best captured in how they actually communicated. One day, Sarah needed to find Remy urgently. Without cell phones, the message, "Sarah is looking for you," was literally passed from student to student, echoing across the entire campus until it finally reached him. It was a hilarious campus-wide human relay race. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. Remy's story isn't just about raising money or navigating quirky dorm rules. It's really a story of stepping into adulthood. How do our own deeply held memories of the past shape the way we navigate the loud, demanding challenges and the very real new relationships standing right in front of us today? Thank you so much for exploring 1991 with me. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.